Welcome to Play with Jalen. My name is Jalen for those who don't know, and I'm going to be streaming all things Nintendo exclusive, sharing gaming and also Nintendo news with a little sprinkle of health knowledge as well. And a bonus, you may or may not see my pup Boo with the pink paws, who will make frequent pop-ups, I'm sure, in the background as I continue to talk. She's usually always attracted to the idea of, oh my god, daddy's talking, let me jump in. But thank you so much for joining my channel. Hit the subscription button, but also share with any of your friends. So the purpose of this channel, like I mentioned, is to provide not only with Nintendo exclusive gaming and also news there, but it's also just to remind us that adults can play games as well. That's why within my bio you see the idea of I'm your adult next door, playing a little bit off of Kids Next Door, which was one of my favorite shows as I grew up, reminding us that, it's okay for us to game. I think that a lot of us got away from it as we became adults and we started to do more serious things such as jobs, relationships, but also just kind of more once to step into your adult age. But the kid in us never goes away. So that's why I want to remind all of us that, hey, sometimes if you really need to escape from the adult world, that gaming is a great outlet in order to do so. For this first stream recording itself, I'm going to be diving into the Switch 2. For many of us, we know that the Switch 2 dropped just yesterday. I had planned to get mine also yesterday. I did the pre-order whole debacle and managed to get one through Walmart, which my Redditors know Walmart did not update the status of our Switch 2 coming until literally Tuesday of this week. Thus, my Switch 2 did not arrive actually until today as I sat by the door as the shipping said it would just be placed at your door, and I was like, no one's about to go downstairs and grab my box before I'm able to finally dive into the Switch 2 itself. So if you didn't join the live stream, then you won't see the exact unboxing that I did and where I removed each piece by piece, but what you will see today is still the components that were in the box, as well as a little brief overview of what those devices are and transparently what were the upgrades that were made from the first Switch. So the Switch 2 came in the following box. It was a little bit hard to get it open. Well, then again, for me, it's hard to open things, but the box was pretty hefty, and I was like, okay, so what's inside? How are we going to be gaming with everyone? After I finally got the box open itself, the first thing that I want to see, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you want to see, is what does the new Switch 2 look like? So what we have here is the Switch 2 in all of its glory and glow. So already what you can see from the Switch 2 is that from the screen itself, they've actually given us a full screen display, which is huge from the first Switch when it dropped. Many of you probably bought the newer Switch one, which did have a more full screen itself. However, I got the first one. The price tag on the next one was I might as well wait for them to actually drop a new Switch before I invest into that. And plus, my mom bought it for me, so I was like, somebody's already bought it. Why would I go out of my way in order to buy the upgraded version of the first Switch? So like I said, you have a full screen display, so that way when you're on the train or even traveling, whatever form that you have, green eggs and ham, now you got the green eggs and Switch with you as well. One of the most optimal features that I was looking forward to with the Switch 2 was the fact that there are now 2 USB-C ports. This is an upgrade in that at first you could only kind of plug in one charger or even the dock itself. But now I'll be able to plug this into the dock, and I use my phone. I use my Switch personally to charge my phone all the time. So now being able to plug my Switch in and then literally put my phone USB-C charger in here as well. Touche, Switch. Y'all are really paying attention at Nintendo as we went about to design this. Another key feature, and is going to connect with the next item that I brought out the box, is that instead of having this slide ins feature for the joysticks, now the new joystick will be able to attach right on the side. But before I get into that, let's talk about the joysticks themselves. So the Switch 2 came with two joysticks. Joysticks are pretty expensive, so when I went to Target and saw the price tag for the other one, I was like, you know what, I can wait for it. But also, being a more in-depth gamer, as they say, I also bought the Switch 2 Pro controller, which I'll feature as I start playing more games outside of the Mario Kart realm. But in order to really understand why this joystick controller is so much better than the last, first off, the first one, you had to buy the bumper to go on top of it like to go to attach to it. And I'm sure like myself, many of you lost that within the first couple of months, and then you found yourself kind of like still playing by like squeezing your fingers in. But now it's already coming on it. So now I will be able to use this as I'm beating my friends on games like Super Smash Bros. When they come over and we just want to all be equitable and use the same controller itself. The joysticks, instead of also being fully colored, they came in this matte black design, which living in New York City, we have this allure that black is the best color to wear. So when I saw that these were coming in matte black design versus the full bleed colors that the Switch 1 came in, I was like, there we go. Once again, touche Switch, but also touche to Nintendo for really thinking about what did we want. So also with this new joystick controller itself, you'll see that unlike the Switch 1 controller, in where you had that small little button that you had to press in order to be able to slide it up and down, now there's a much bigger button, pressing it in right here, that you'll be able to now, when you click it into it, you'll be able to pop it right back out easily. This is a huge upgrade because I know many people, including myself, actually broke the size of our joysticks as we were like, oh, I'm just trying to get this out really quickly, and just snatched it, and then pew, and then had to go spend another $85 because you can't buy the joystick by itself. You have to buy two at one time. I'm like, y'all should catch up to how Apple allows you to go buy one AirPod, because I'm like, maybe I just need one joystick, not two of them, and now I have a set of, well, now I have 3 joysticks instead of having 4. So once again, a huge upgrade. The next thing which I took out the box was the dock. So this is where I think one of the main improvements came for a lot of gamers who are hesitant in buying a Switch, was that the output that the dock provides towards your monitor or your television screen was not as HD as your PS5 or your Xbox One. Now with the new dock, we'll be able to play games in HD. So a lot of the first Switch 2 games that are coming out, just like the Zelda Breath of the Wild game, the main upgrades, aside for some other features which I will showcase through my future streams, Mondays tune in and I'll be only doing Nintendo's 2 exclusive games, will be that they're gonna look so much more clear. Let me say that again, so much more clear. And that I'll finally be able to play the Zelda game without feeling like, does this not kind of look like when I played it on Wii or even the DS itself? So I'm really looking forward towards the HD output that this dock will be able to provide. But then also one thing that I like about the dock is the design itself. However, I will note that it does seem a little bit clunkier and bigger than the last one. However, I hope that that's because, like I said, the output is supposed to be so much better than the first version. So I'm hoping that the clunky design means that this big back has a lot to carry forward when it comes to the actual individual components when we do get into the gaming play itself. The next thing that I pulled out of the Switch 2 box was the HDMI cord. So this may seem like a trivial thing, like why are you even showing this? But any streamer knows that you have so many HDMI cords at play as you stream. I currently have 3 of them set up with my streaming setup that I have right now. So I could really use this additional one, even to replace the fact that now I've used every HDMI just to stream. So I'll be plugging this in order to get the HD output within the dock. But then I'll also not be able to bring back one of my other ones in order to use it for my own personal use. But the next thing that we also grabbed out of the box was the USB-C charger adapter in order to connect towards your dock. But also I find it useful too in that it's USB-C. I can charge my phone with this, I can charge my laptop with this, making it so that I'm able to just bring my Switch 2 with me when I travel, when I go like to work and whatnot, and put it in my bag. But now I'll also be able to once again use this as well for the Switch 2 dock. The one thing that I really liked about this setup compared to the last one is that the last one, this was already like connected in, like built into it, like the cord to the actual adapter. So you were kind of like wrapping around this cord, and I'm a firm believer that as the more you wrap a cord up, it kind of just seems to stop working that well. But now you'll be able to have a standalone cord alongside with your adapter so that you can more easily transport it, even wrap it up yourself. I'm personally not gonna wrap this up. I'm just gonna hope that it fits into wherever I have it and won't have any shorts. But this feature really was outstanding compared to the way that the clunkier Switch 1 setup that the charger adapter had. Next thing that I was able to discover in the box, which to me felt like Christmas Day again, especially with all the packages that I had coming in as well. It was like, oh, okay, more, and more. They also came with the joystick holders, and that you'll be able to, I'm just gonna show you guys how this works. We're all learning together here. So I'm already getting this magnetic fill and pull, but essentially, let's see. There we go. We got it on this side, but not that side. Oh, I see. So it looks like you have to maybe pop this off. Alright, before I break this, and I just got it, I'm not going to attach this for right now. But essentially what this is for is that you're going to be able to wrap this around your wrist. So that way when you're playing games that require a little bit more motion, such as Wii Sports, or even like I'm looking forward to, which is going to be the Switch 2 upgrade for the Mario Party, and that you'll be able to make sure that this is secure, so when you're doing all your motions and whatnot, it's not flinging and flying everywhere. It look-y kind of reminds me of the Wii to in a sense with this, and I lost this at first. I'm really hoping that I will keep track of this. Heck, I may even install an AirTag right here, because Lord knows I use every single device that I'm trying not to lose. So let's hope that you continue to see this throughout my streams. So that ends everything that pretty much came out of the box itself. The last thing that I think that I was hoping to get, so I pre-ordered the Switch 2 with Mario Kart World. I was a part of the Switch 2 pre-order debacle, but I did manage to get the one that came with Mario Kart World. However, I think I was expecting a physical copy of the game. Rather, instead, what I got in the box was a Mario Kart World scratch off a download code. So I'm going to have to download the game in order for us to be able to watch it together. So tune in to my stream later, and where I'm going to be showing you guys what is Mario Kart World, this game that we've been waiting for. It felt like decades, to me at least, in that unlike the other Mario Kart that you played in the Switch One, this one's supposed to be more of a free roam Mario Kart in that you'll be able to whip your little cart around, and then from there you'll be able to kind of explore the world itself while still engaging in different races. Because best believe you'll see me beating my friends and others online, and kind of more so an immersive experience. And I mean, you can't drive without a wheel. So I also went ahead and I purchased the joystick wheel controller in order for Mario Kart World, being that it is going to be the first game in which I'm going to be playing. So just like the Switch 2 itself, there seems to be a magnetic adapter that kind of clicks this into it, and so that way you're able to still access the bumpers on the back, but actually drive it around. So you're gonna watch me whip this thing into circles, skirt, 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 and make sure that I'm winning races. Feel free to drop underneath this video in the Mario Kart streams and videos itself who is your favorite character to use, because personally mine is Princess Peach. I'm convinced that low-key Peach is like designed or glitched to win every single game that she's in. Like, I've played Mario Kart and never got a power up. Even when I did get them, I didn't use them, and Peach just kind of kept winning. You just drove straight and boom, she was gone. So tune in later in order to see what does the Mario Kart World gameplay look like, but then also watch me swerve around with Peach and win a few games. So the last thing that I want to talk about today is, I know that streaming sometimes can seem like a giant like hurdle to kind of undertake itself. But in order to make things easier for a new streamer like mine, I was doing my R&R into a few different brands which sell your cameras, your lights, your stream deck, and also your mic as well. And what I found was Elgato makes a Neo kit. So within this Neo kit comes the Wave mic, the Stream Deck Neo, which you're able to press these buttons and where you can program your pages itself, and kind of set what you want. Which you can see on mine, I not only have my streaming and my streaming pages, but I also have one because I will probably be playing a little bit during work. That takes me right back to Slack. So that way, as I'm sitting here trying to game, I can be like, oops, let me jump back into that message. So that way nobody thinks I'm offline. But the really cool thing about the Neo kit, like I said, streaming can seem like this big hurdle, giant to tackle. However, what Elgato did with the Neo kit, not only is the devices clean and looks very, how I say this, modern, but every single box that each of these devices came in, they also came with a QR code that linked me out to a page which literally broke it down step by step, piece by piece of what is this, how do I use it, how do I plug it in. But then also there's videos online which show you, well, how do you connect it to whatever streaming software that you plan to use, so that way when you're ready to get going, it's easy. So whether you're trying to game or just do streaming for whatever content in which you want to make, Elgato Neo is what I recommend to get started with, and probably what I will continue to use as I go on my streaming journey itself. I'll be eventually kind of showing you guys what does the interface or the UI UX of the Switch 2 looks like. Hopefully I'll be able to do the streaming and recording at the same time, as it's my first time streaming, so I did not hit that recording button. Thus, you're getting this video now. However, I'm going to be showing you guys what the UI UX looks like from there. And then I guess you guys will watch me also download Mario Kart at that point, which may take me a minute, as Lord knows my Wi-Fi can be up and down sometimes, especially given that it is hot right now here in New York. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to download it with probably in the next hour, so that way we can kind of dive into that and get the wheels rolling. No pun intended. Well, thanks so much for checking out my channel Play with Jalen, where once again I'll be streaming Nintendo exclusive, sharing gaming and also Nintendo news with the touch of public health talk, which is more so geared towards health topics that I think adults should kind of really dive into, and raising awareness around some key health issues, but also moments that really matter. And like I said, the bonus, as you see in my cover photo, my putt boo with the pink balls and all will make freaking cameos. So ultimately, let's chill, chat, and play. And I look forward to taking us all on this streaming journey as I stream Nintendo exclusives and also share bits and pieces of different talks and whatnot. Thanks so much, and I look forward to continuing to play and chat with you all throughout the journey. Thanks.